Hello guys, I'm here and I'm ready to spill the tea. It's gonna be wet for the remainder of this video. Anyways, like, jokes aside, I left my battery charger at my friend's place in New York. So it's just gonna be a quick video, but I was just kind of reminiscing on kind of like starting school and everything that I kind of went through going into RISD, and I thought I'd just kind of make a quick video going over kind of just like some college tips, some art school tips. This really is kind of directed to like any art school. Some of them are specifically to RISD, but anyone can kind of like take these into their own school. So I'll just get started as I don't really know how much battery I have on this camera and I don't have my charger. So let's just get into it. I kind of broke this off into sections just to make it easier. And so the first one is ways to save money at RISD. This is kind of a big thing for me, at least. I was kind of all about like trying to save money. I know a lot of people are, and RISD is kind of like a really expensive school, so any way to kind of like lower down the cost is definitely going to be a plus. And the first one is for any printing that you need to do to go to the architecture printer instead of either the GD printer or the one on top of the printer on top of the RISD store, which also is the most expensive one, which it does print really high quality prints, but it is the most expensive option. So the architecture printer is definitely kind of the way to go. It is a little further, so it is kind of a hike to get there, but it is definitely worth it. It is approximately like half the cost of the one on top of the RISD store, and it's also fairly like good quality prints. You can print very large, just huge format, I think 36 inches by however long you want it to be. So that's definitely kind of the best option. And moving on to the next tip, this is more so for drawing. In my experience, my first semester teacher was kind of very cost driven, at least in terms of trying to like lower the cost for us, since he knew that all our supplies were kind of very pricey. And so he did just make us use pecan paper or pecan paper. I'm not really sure how it's pronounced, but it was kind of the cheapest type of paper that they had at the RISD store, and it was of decent quality. I'm not going into illustration. I'm not really sure what good quality versus bad quality paper necessarily is, but it kind of did the job for foundation studies. I found it to work great, and a lot of teachers also want you to work super big. And what I did is I just put multiple of these sheets together, which ended up being a lot cheaper than, say, if you were to get a giant piece of paper that you would then just have that. I think one sheet is like 25 cents or 15 cents. And if you were to get like a big piece of paper just for one project, that alone would cost you $10. So it was definitely a big difference overall. I guess like every week having to do that, it kind of really adds up. I think that was kind of the biggest tip for saving money. It saved my life. Yeah. The next thing is that the RISD store isn't really the only option you have. There are multiple art stores. There's Blick, which honestly is the same price, so I wouldn't necessarily go there unless you do want something that's specifically there. But then there is also another art store, I forgot their name, but they are by Whole Foods, and they're personally like a lot cheaper over there. If you first get your list at the beginning of the semester, just since it is kind of a walk to get there, I would just, when you get the list, go there immediately and just kind of see what you can find there as opposed to the RISD store. And that way you're just making one trip for all of this excess of supplies that you do need to be getting. RISD, why are you not paying for the supplies? We're paying so much money. Anyways, I think I deleted the list of things I wanted to say. I actually did delete it, but I found it in my recently deleted. This video is a complete mess. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get through this. It's been a day. Finally, this is the last tip on saving money, but in my experience, second semester, I would always print from the computer labs from their computers, and I believe it's 15 or 25 cents, or is it 10? No, it's 10 cents for a black and white piece of paper, and I believe it's 25 cents for a color piece of paper. That's outrageous. Like, that is so fucking pricey. What I ended up doing, I didn't even kind of expect it to work this way, but I just wanted to print something from my computer because I didn't want to send it off to my email and log in again on their computers. But when I logged in on my laptop to print directly to the printer, it was in color and it ended up costing 10 cents per page. I'm pretty sure that was just an error on their part. I know at the very end of the semester they did change it, so on my computer it did end up costing 25 cents later, but at least for that short period of time it was 10 cents for color papers. I don't know how it's gonna be next semester, just kind of play it by ear, but I would definitely at least try it. Doesn't hurt to try. That's 15 cents different per page. And the project that I did, I printed so many pieces of paper, so it ended up saving a lot of money for me. So just try it and see if it works. If it doesn't, that really sucks, and I wish they didn't figure it out, but it did save me for a while. It saved me a lot of money. Next. Okay, so the next category is just ways to kind of improve your experience at RISD and your time here. I'm guilty of not doing some of these things, particularly this one, which is going to talks and lectures. Everyone knows that RISD is very hectic and like you have a lot going on, a lot of projects, a lot of ish, and so you don't necessarily have that much time to go to talks or go to they have kind of like studio class things in the afternoon. My teacher last semester forced us to go to a couple of these, and I really am grateful that we kind of had to, because I know that I wouldn't have gone to even those if it wasn't mandatory. But it does kind of really help, and even though you are so packed, you have to just kind of make time and figure out a way to go to them. You're paying so much money to go to this school that you might as well kind of take all you can out of it. Also, on RISD being such a hard and tough school, don't procrastinate. Like, this is just common sense. You should know this, but still so many people, myself included at sometimes, am guilty of this. Just don't procrastinate and know kind of when everything is due. Make a schedule for yourself, make like some sort of thing to dictate kind of what you want to get done every single day. And I do mean every single day. I know Saturdays and Sundays are weekends, but there's still work days at RISD. Definitely work as much as you can. Save partying to really kind of like Friday nights and Saturday nights. And don't ignore that you have time after you get out of class on Fridays to work for a little bit. You have time Saturday the whole day until it's nighttime to work. You just shouldn't procrastinate because it really does add up in the end. I'm almost done with my tea. I really wish I didn't spill it. This also kind of ties into it, but again, with not procrastinating, when you are doing something not school related, still try to make it productive. Again, you need time off, you need time to kind of like go enjoy yourself, have fun, but then also try to make time to go to the gym. And this sounds kind of weird, especially for an art school, but it does make a difference. It's something that I didn't do at the beginning of the school year, but during winter session, I really kind of started going almost every single day, and it just really makes a difference. Your mindset is so much better, and you're so much more kind of outgoing, you're very energetic, and that's kind of very important to kind of keep up with kind of the lifestyle that you kind of have to live there and have to produce so much work. It's a good way to get your mind off of the work that you have to do, but still be productive. Once second semester came around, I didn't have as much time as during winter session, obviously, but I would still go 2 to 3 times a week. Liberal days were a really good time for me to go to the gym, just because it's not a like 8 to 5 kind of schedule. You have time in between your 2 liberals, and so that for me was kind of perfect. And so for my second liberal, I was very energetic. I got such a good grade because I was very present, I was very active in the class, and working out really kind of does that. There's all these studies that kind of show that. But yeah, keep in mind that even when you're working, you can work with friends, you can work with people that you enjoy being with. It's not like you're really hating yourself and like you lock yourself up and you're working 24/7. You can still enjoy working. you guys are going to art school because I'm assuming that you like art, it's not this terrible experience. Okay, next up is social, and to start off, I know I'm kind of posting this really late. There's like a month left before we move back into RISD. I'm sorry, but if you didn't already, or if you did, congratulations, like you're a step in the right direction. Be active on the Facebook chats, do as much as you can, kind of like interacting with people you're gonna be going with. I know personally for me, I had a Snapchat group chat kind of going into RISD, and so I kind of already knew some people there, and so that kind of really helped me. I had kind of like a friend group there before I even got there. Just try to socialize the first few weeks as much as possible. Everyone is in your own shoes. I feel like I've heard this a million times everywhere, and I'm sorry that I'm repeating it, but just like talk to people. Everyone is experiencing the same things your experience is. I'm done being cliche. Okay, moving on. So interact as much as possible, but also know that once you get into a friend group, you don't have to stay in that friend group. I ended up changing friend groups kind of halfway through my time there, and just know that that's okay, and it's also okay to be friends with people in different friend groups. I kind of realized that it isn't necessarily the best environment to just be stuck with one group of people. It's kind of good to just try to go out there, just have friends in different groups. My best friend there is not in my main group there, if that makes sense, but it's really good to just branch out and know as many people as you can. First semester I did kind of very much so limit myself to just a few people, and that really wasn't healthy for me. I ended up not being friends with them anymore, and that kind of made it tough for me to kind of then get back into it and kind of make a whole new friend group. Once winter session came around, I kind of changed this mentality. I definitely did branch out a lot more. I became friends with people in different groups, and that's the other thing. Don't necessarily stick to just one friend group. Just try to be friends with as many people as possible. Anyone who you think you're kind of compatible with, just approach them, just try to talk to them. Everyone is here for the same reasons. Everyone loves art, and everyone just, in my experience, is for the most part really friendly. So just go up to them, say hi. If you see me next year, like, let's talk. And just socialize and stay on top of your work at the same time if you can. Okay, I'm going through this list, and I kind of talked over most of the things that I really wanted to get out of the way. The things that I was like, these are the points I need to hit in case this battery dies on me. So now I can just go over kind of like more minute things, just like things you should get for school, things that kind of I didn't think about that I would need, that I ended up needing. I know in the Facebook chat last year, Anita posted this super long list of like everything you should get for RISD. I don't know if this was the case this year. I didn't check on the Facebook chat. But even so, like, see if you can find that. I don't remember like everything that was on it. It was literally like it was like 20 miles long. Just some things off the top of my head though. A bed mattress, obviously, sheets, covers, all that. That's kind of obvious. But definitely get a lamp. Sometimes your roommate is just gonna be asleep and you're just gonna be there like needing to like finish something up. So definitely get a lamp. Get a fan, because it is super hot and freshman dorms don't have AC. My dorm next year also won't have AC. Don't get art supplies ahead of time, just because I feel like they're a lot better quality in the area here, and it's kind of the same price as like AC Moore and all that if you go to like those cheaper art stores in Providence. Ooh, this is a really big one that I forgot to talk about, but get most of the supplies that you need for your teacher when they give you a list, but don't get everything. If you think you're kind of like on edge of whether you're going to need it or not, save off on it. Do not get it. I have so many things that were on these lists that my teachers told me to get that I never ended up using, and usually teachers don't even really end up, like, you don't need to use most of the things the first class anyways. So go to the first class, see kind of what the class is about, what you're going to be dabbling with. They might for the first class say, oh, actually like this and this and this is all that you really need. And so definitely just go to the first class, save off on getting things that you think you're not going to need. I ended up buying a lot of things that I never ended up using, and I was like, why did I do that? Also, if there's things like clay or things like that, just buy something bigger and split it up with different friends. You probably are not going to use the amount that the teacher says you're going to end up using. At least from my experience with Masha, she ended up making us get this big block and we used this much of it. I'm not pissed about that at all. But yeah, to everyone kind of going in as a freshman, good luck. You're really gonna love it. It was such a good experience going through freshman year. Have fun dying in the best way possible, but just enjoy your time and try to make the most of it. You're only gonna be there for 4 years, and it's a really great experience. Bye. I am so stressed out that this battery is gonna die. Let me drink my tea while I spill it everywhere.